Hi, welcome back to another episode of Tape Time with Tom. My name is Chris. Today we'll be doing another round of VHS Haul where I'll be talking about some of the VHS tapes that I've got in the past couple months. Now it has been a minute since I've last recorded, so I have a vast array of tapes that I've gotten in many different places, as well as I have a little box over yonder of some tapes that I've gotten from my local library from a donation. Now, some of these videos are going to be adapted a little bit in a different way, where normally I would go through all the new tapes and then we'd quickly run through some of the duplicates from my collection. I've gotten like 3 batches of boxes in the past 2 weeks from these local library donations, and I'm going to have to kind of expedite the process just a little bit, just a little peek behind the curtain, if you will. So I think the plan is I'm going to just do a quick Letterboxd list of all the movies that I highlight on the particular VHS haul, and if I don't get around to name dropping all the duplicates, this one's not too much. It's just a small handful, maybe 10 or so, but some of these other bigger boxes, it's a lot more. So just future warning, if you will. But yeah, I have a good amount of new tapes and that I'm very excited just to quickly mention. Without further ado, let's go and hop to it. So first up, I have this kind of organized by date, I guess. I don't know, something like that. So the first batch of tapes I have here are going to be tapes that I got when I was visiting the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lanham, Pennsylvania. I attended their Alien Invasion weekend, and you could watch that video up here, hopefully, if I finish it by the time that this comes out. But yeah, we're going to kind of go narratively this way. I finally, after so many years of visiting the drive-in, I finally won one of their raffles, and I got a couple of VHS tapes from it. And one Blu-ray, so that's kind of cool too. Just quick these are actually all 3 of these VHS tapes are movies that I've already received. You'll hear me talk about them more often in my last video for the Alien Invasion weekend. But yeah, we have a special edition director's cut of Aliens. We have a non-special edition director's cut. This is just the regular theatrical cut of Aliens as well. And then we have the director's cut of Close Encounters of the Third Kind as well. This is the 1980 re-release when you get to see Richard Dreyfuss go into the ship. And then the Blu-ray that I won from the raffle is Planet of the Vampires from Mario Bava. And I'm pretty sure this is a movie that influenced the making of Alien, if I am not mistaken. What's fun about the Mahoning Drive-In Theater is that there is a large wall of VHS tapes that people could buy, and naturally, for a collector like myself, I have to grab some. So I got 2. I got 2 tapes from their little wall. The first up is going to be the Hero. It's just Hero and the Terror with Chuck Norris. And who's the other fellow in this? Steve James. Heroes Hit Hardest. This is from Canon, and I've been getting more into Canon lately. And I'll mention that in another video in the future, but you'll find out about that later. But yeah, Hero and the Terror, this sounds cool. Ever since I watched Silent Rage last year, I've been trying to get more into Chuck Norris, ironically enough. And when I saw Hero and the Terror and the Canon logo on this VHS tape, I was like, let's grab it for sure. And the other movie that I picked up from their VHS Wall of Wonder is Karen Kusama's VHS tape of Girl Fight starring Michelle Rodriguez, and this is a promotional copy of the movie, and I picked it up because I like to find a good amount of promotional copies, but also because they just released this from Criterion not too long ago, and I was like, well, if it's worth of a Criterion, I could pick up on VHS too. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to watching both of those. So there is a town, this is a long story that I'm going to condense real fast. There's a town nearby to the drive-in called Jim Thorpe, formerly known as Mauch Chunk, and we have visited their museum numerous times, and it's always a lot of fun. We first visited them in 2021 after the first time we visited the drive-in for their Zombie Fest weekend. And we went in because it was raining and we were trying to get out from the weather. And we went to the museum and we had an absolute blast of a time there. And the first thing they do when you pay for their tour is they show you an old DVD rip of a VHS movie that they have. And for whatever reason, this time around when we visited them again, they had it on VHS. So it's the Mauch Chunk Museum Presents The Story of Malk Chunk. And honestly, this is a really great documentary, and it really kind of condenses their like 300-year, 400-year history into like 15, 20 minutes. It's pretty great. I'm definitely happy about it. If it's not on YouTube, I might see about getting it on there. And the other one that I picked up that they didn't show at the museum, but they had it for sale, hence why I have it, is Switchback Railroad, Pennsylvania's first railroad, America's first tourist railroad. It's a lot of fun. If you're visiting Mahoning, which you should for the movies, also visit Jim Thorpe for the museum and all the other stuff in that town. It's a really great little small town in Pennsylvania, and it's got a whole lot of history, and everyone should go visit there if they get a chance to. Cool. Also, on that same weekend, coincidentally enough, Vinegar Syndrome had the start of their Partners Month, or a couple weeks at the very least, their sale, and I grabbed my first DeGosser video. You'll see the little sticker that came with the order and stuff. But I picked up The Sweet East from Sean Price Williams, and this movie had been on my watch list for a while, and they just played it at the New Beverly Cinema in Los Angeles, California. I popped this into the VCR a little while ago. If you could hear it, there's like a small piece that kind of dislodged, unfortunately, and hopefully if I keep shaking it, it doesn't break it even further. But I popped it into the VCR, and it plays just fine, thankfully. But it's really cool. It's kind of clear and everything. It's got very handmade and everything. It's really cool. I look forward to grabbing more DeGosser videotapes in the future. Cool. So, skipping ahead a couple weeks from my trip into Pennsylvania, I went to Boston, and I visited a couple places up there. I visited a record store that sold VHS tapes called Planet Records, if I'm not mistaken. And I got some fun tapes from that record store. So, I bought 3, and you'll see why I'm struggling in a second. I bought 3 VHS tapes. The first one that I saw that I was like, I have to grab is Jack Nicholson in The Pledge, directed by Sean Penn. This has been on my watch list for a while. This was, again, hyped up on the Pure Cinema podcast a couple years ago. It's supposed to be really good. I'm very much looking forward to finally watching it after all these years. Because it's like, every so often, it pops up on streaming, and then it disappears pretty fast afterwards. The next movie I grabbed is the unrated director's cut of The Lawnmower Man, and I've read the short story featured in Skeleton Crew, I think that's what it is. I'll double check. But yeah, this movie is apparently insane, and I can't wait to finally watch this movie, because I know it's like nothing like the book, or nothing like the short story at the very least. And then the last movie that I bought from Planet Records was Orson Welles' Othello. Apparently it's a lost masterpiece. This is a very light VHS tape, and like the text on the back of the box and on the front of the box is pretty smudged. So I'm wondering if this is a rip, a bootleg almost, especially with this, how much tape is on the tape, as well as like the lettering and stuff on there. You know, I'm a basic bitch. I love Orson Welles, and I can't wait to watch some more of his movies, especially on VHS. And then I keep mentioning that the movies that I bought. My buddy Kevin, you may remember from the Anaconda commentary we did a couple years ago, he was with us as well, and they had at Planet Records 3 VHS tapes for $1. So a little paperback kind of deal, and you don't know what's in there, but you have to buy it before you could open it, basically. So he bought one of these for me, and I was trying not to buy too many VHS tapes up in Boston, and I came home with a lot more tapes than I certainly expected. But some of the tapes that I picked up, or maybe not picked up, was gifted to me. The first one out of this little paper bag is A Little Ducktail Discovery Collector's Edition. This is made, I think, in Japan. It is 55 minutes. It was made in 1985 and then released for VHS in 1991. A charming true life tale of growing up. We'll find out how this is. If it's not on YouTube, I might put it up on there. We made a joke about it when we were there. It's like, I'm probably going to pick up something that I already have in my collection. And I actually did. I have Soul Food in my collection already, though I don't have the box for it. I only have the cassette tape for it. So this is kind of fun. Now I'll keep this version. I'll donate the other one, basically. And lastly, there is a music promotional video for a fellow named Russell Watson. I think he's a musician of some sort. International EPK version 2 and selected TV performances for 18 minutes and 46 seconds from Decca Music Group. So yeah, based on the music, I probably won't be able to put this on YouTube. It'll be a fun watch, at least for one time at the very least. But yeah, thank you, Kevin, for buying me $1 worth of VHS tapes. And lastly, we visited a place in Boston. It's either Boston or Rhode Island, but it was called Pete's Nerd Emporium. Shout out to Thomas, because we were visiting him up in Boston, because he was texting me right before I was recording this, and he got me the name like that at this Nerd Emporium owned by Pete. Apparently, it was it's like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering kind of stuff. But they had a wall of VHS tapes there. And I was like, "Are these for sale?" And they was like, "They can be." And I picked up Das Boot, and it was the boat, because it is a fantastic movie. It's one of the best World War II movies in my opinion. I saw it on a DVD in college, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing." The claustrophobia, and I mentioned it briefly during my review of The Abyss, and like how I'm pretty sure James Cameron picked up a lot of stuff from that movie for The Abyss, and yeah, it's great. Definitely recommend watching the Das Boot. It's incredible. Cool. Okay. We had a little get together. I don't know if I will do a video about it, but we had a War Notes 50th anniversary double feature. We watched that with Steve from the other commentary videos of Legend and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he gave me a belated birthday gift for me. This is Lunch Meat's, getting the sticker off there, Lunch Meat's release of Kim's video, which I have not seen, and I'm very much looking forward to watching it, because apparently it is a crazy story. I'll read the back of this one. Physical media reigns supreme in Kim's video, which is in New York, and a place that Steve has visited, and if I get a chance to visiting him, I'm going to visit Kim's video as well. A tribute to the iconic video store in New York City that inspired a generation of cinephiles before it mysteriously closed its doors and sent its legendary film archive to a small Sicilian village for safekeeping. I don't know what that means, and I can't wait to find out. I also came with a fun sticker that I'll be putting on my car. VHS till death, that is for sure. Cool. I got 2 things off eBay, and I haven't opened them up yet, and we'll do a live unboxing right now. 1 second. Alrighty. The intention for this eBay purchasing was to grab the last of... It was the Rankin Bass Return of the King VHS tape, because we have the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit from Rankin Bass, and then Lord of the Rings from Ralph Bakshi, and we didn't have the concluding trilogy, if you will. So because Rankin Bass did The Hobbit, and then Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings is like Fellowship and Two Towers, but he didn't do Return of the King, and then Rankin Bass came back and finished it off. So we were going through all of those relatively recently, and we finally, because we didn't have this, we're finally going to finish this one off. So very excited for that. And then just for the sake of purchasing stuff off eBay, I was like, try to find something that sounds fun. And another seller, I picked up Python Wolf, a William Friedkin underrated, underseen movie that I literally have never heard of. Based off of some of the pictures in the back, it looks kick-ass. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to finally finding out what this movie is all about. Cool. Yeah. So over there, we have a little box. We have some tapes that, again, I mentioned previously that I got stuff from my local library. We're going to go through some of the stuff that's actually loggable on Letterboxd, or at the very least interesting to mention. So there wasn't a whole lot of movies in this box that I didn't already have, basically. So it's not a lot. So we'll just kind of go through it real fast. The first one is called Down from the Mountain. This is a movie celebrating the music from O Brother, Where Art Thou? Which I've never heard of this. There's not many people who have logged it on Letterboxd, but it's a concert film made in part as not inspiration, but in thanks, or it's inspired by the music from O Brother, Where Art Thou? I'm very excited to watch this. This sounds really cool. Also, we got Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell in Overboard. We were talking with some neighbors, and apparently one of our neighbors' favorite movie is Overboard. And I was like, where can I find this? And coincidentally, got it for free, so not too bad. And then lastly, for stuff you could technically log, this is a rip a bootleg of Nova Battle of the X-Planes. It's just, like about a bunch of planes flying around. So we'll find out what that means. And then the other stuff that's at the very least worth mentioning is called Play Days. It's all about freestyle kayaking techniques, and I'm recording this while the Olympics, 2024 Summer Olympics are going on, and they have kayaking, and we've been watching some of that, and it's really cool. So I might have to throw this up on YouTube. They also have there's a tape, an introduction to 6-count swing and the basics of leading and following. I'll see about putting it on YouTube. I'm not going to keep this probably. I'll mention that in a second as a follow-up. But then we also got a VHS head cleaner. I don't think it's ever been opened. Definitely going to be using this because it's always necessary. So with that 6-count swing and all the other tapes from this box, I'll just do a quick read-through real fast. It's Forrest Gump, Few Good Men, True Lies, Fargo, Saving Private Ryan, Air Force One, Aaron Brockovich, Men in Black, and Crimson Tide. You may be wondering to yourself, where do all my duplicate VHS tapes go? So I've been selling these to Third Eye Music and Video in Annapolis, Maryland. So in the next couple of months, if I get a chance to get a good collection over there soon, you might be able to buy some of these VHS tapes if you so desire, if you happen to be in the DMV area or visiting Annapolis. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. They have a great selection, and a lot of the stuff that I either already have or I no longer need or really want. Not saying it's bad or anything. It's just not my flavor, my taste. I'll be sending them over there, and they'll be sell it for me. I get a small little bit, but hey, you know what? Keeping VHS alive. No need to gatekeep or anything. But yeah, so that's that. And lastly, we have a box, like a shoebox worth of random VHS tapes. Pre-purchase survey for boats or something like that. The human calculator. There's like 3 VHS tapes on epoxy. 2 of them were for hunting or fishing or something. One of these was this is all about like a bow for deer bow hunting and stuff. So this might go up on YouTube. A lot of this stuff might go up on YouTube if I have the chance. There's a Lee Marvin documentary called Our Time in Hell. I don't think there's a very big digital presence to this. And lastly, the funniest thing I think is the National Rifle Association featuring Charlton Heston. This seems like a laugh. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Tape Time and Tom. My name's Chris. You can find me on Letterboxd under Darth Gnome, and I'll have a link in the description or up top. Please like, comment, and subscribe. What's my catchphrase? Always rewind, but more importantly, be kind. See you guys later.